im se svima, i malima i velikima, i bogatima i siromašnima, i slobodnjacima i robovima, dade žig na njihovu desnu ruku ili na čela njihova, te da nitko ne može ništa kupiti ili prodati, osim onoga ko ima žig ili ime zvijeri ili broj imena njezina.
Pozdrav dragi narode, dobrodošli u još jednu epizodu Slobodni. Upravo svjedočimo sada pokušaju sastavljanja nove vlade nakon izbora u Hrvatskoj. Ja si postavljam pitanje da li mi uistinu sastavljamo vladu koja će upravljati ovom zemljom ili ipak to je samo privid nekoga ko će provoditi odluke koje se donose negdje drugdje. Zato je važan danas moj gost koji je istraživao upravo te globalne organizacije i njihove planove i to je sve stavio u nekoliko knjiga, a današnju knjigu koju predstavljamo zove se Global Coup. Ali obzirom da imamo jako puno toga za ispričat i pokazat vam, najbolje da krenemo odmah na stvar. Moj današnji gost je Dr. Jacob Nordangard. Hello Jacob, welcome to our show in Croatia.
Thank you very much.
Okay, can you say a few words about yourself?
Yes, have a PhD in Science and Technology Studies, geographer, and I have also a Master in Culture and Media Production. I've written 6 books about the global management system that is currently being constructed. And I've been working with this for the latest 20 years. I began to write on these topics. So this is my book that will be published by Skyhorse internationally in August. And I also have this one that is a forthcoming book. I will talk a lot about topics that is part of this book as well today, and this is kind of my Bible that I've written about the whole background to everything that is taking part now. It's also out with Skyhorse, an English version. It was published a month ago now.
Great. Well,
yes.
I would like really to explain our audience important things. Well, everybody, when we're talking about some other influences around the world, lots of people are talking about conspiracy theories. Now, today, I would like to spend as much as possible time to show official documents from the official institutions, and we will explain what says in the documents and what they mean. So let's start. You are the one who knows what is happening and what we can expect in the close future and what was happening the last few years.
Well, if we start with my book, The Global Coup. This describes what happened during the pandemic. And a couple of months after the pandemic was declared, in March 2020. It was they had a kind of a virtual meeting at the World Economic Forum where they declared the Great Reset. And a part of this meeting was Klaus Schwab from the World Economic Forum, chairman, Prince Charles, now King Charles of Great Britain, and Antonio Guterres, that is the Secretary General of the United Nations. A couple of months later, after the Great Reset was declared, United Nations had a big meeting where we discussed on how to solve these things that has happened during the pandemic, because, as they said, the COVID-19 shows us we are not prepared enough these kind of crises. So the member states asked Antonio Guterres to work on a report to present suggestions on how to achieve 12 commitments that would turbocharge Agenda 2030, an agenda that was decided in 2015. Because what they found was that with the pandemic, things hasn't progressed as it should. We have more poverty. We have the division in the world. It's worse. It's economic injustices and everything. This has been shown by the pandemic. So he started to work on this, or his team, and 1 year later, our common agenda was published.
Okay. Before we go to this, our common agenda, just say my last episode was about Agenda 2030. That's 17 sustainable goals. And I explained, in a way I see it, how these goals will look like in the future. And whoever wants to see it, it's my last episode, and they can see on my channel, Slobodni Podcast, on Rumble. But let's start with this document, what is calling Our Common Agenda. What is this?
Yes, the Our Common Agenda document. I mean, it's a comprehensive plan on how to achieve Agenda 2030. So it's a kind of an action plan to that are, and because they saw these differences, the problems arising with the pandemic. So this is more about turbocharging the agenda. How can we create better institutions and mechanisms to handle this in the future? So it's a lot of suggestions on how to better the system. It's kind of a reform of United Nations from an earlier the system, the United Nations, that were born out of 1945, and also the Bretton Woods system and so on. And this is a part of reforming this and make it more fit for crisis management.
Let's scroll down there. There is a suggestions what they are suggesting how to improve actions in the future.
Yeah. So they talk about a renewed social contract, and this is a contract. I mean, before we might have contract between nation states. What are we supposed to? What are the state delivering to us, and what can the state demand from us, and so on. But this is a approach where this becomes global.
It means the renewing social contract. We had before some contract, now they want to renew it.
Yes, as I say, it is going global. We had a contract as citizens in our nation states, and now we're doing this global. So this new social contract is about Agenda 2030, to achieving these goals, these global goals. And they talk a lot about us becoming global citizens.
Okay, this looks nice, of course. Why don't we renew social contract if it is good for the future and for the mankind? But where you see the danger from this renewing social contract, all these words what are not really familiar to the regularly ordinary people?
Well, I mean, this strips away the sovereignty of the people, more or less. We have obligations to United Nations that are developing more, not like before. The critics talked about just a discussion club, but now we have a United Nations with more muscles, more power to do things, and we have to obey these rules.
They want to centralizing power, and they want to run this show globally from the one center, from United Nations, and we are members as a Croatia and Sweden also, we are members of the United Nations. But I don't remember that any of these people who want to have power was on any kind of elections in our countries.
No, they are non-elected. And also this report with suggestions, I mean, it's not, nobody knows about this. I mean, even if I have been studying global politics and power for like 20 years, but it took time for me to find out about this. And I wrote about all that happened during the pandemic, and then I had all the knowledge about the history and so on. But it took some months for me before I found out that they had actually released this document.
That means they are doing this behind closed doors, without consultation and without democratic procedures.
They claim to, because everything is open. So, I mean, they have these big meetings in United Nations. Everything, you can download all the documents, you can follow it. And they even have, you can stand in, they have a consultation process and so on. So, but if you don't know it, it's not like television and the radio and the magazine, newspapers are talking about this meeting. So ordinary people have no idea it's happening. You have to be in the, employed at the United Nations, be a part of governments and also the more powerful NGOs and international organizations. They know about these things, but not the ordinary people. They can claim that the information has been published. It's everywhere. You have had we have said that this meeting is on and everything. We have had the time to complain and say what you want and so on. So that's how we do it.
I can say for Croatia for sure there was not in any public media, in any mainstream media. Nobody knows about it. If people want to know, they need to read or these documents or your book. But let's say some kind of proposals they put here, and they are sounding great. We will leave no one behind. We will protect our planet. We will build trust. We will be prepared. We will listen and work with youth. We will improve digital cooperation. We will upgrade the United Nations. We will ensure sustainable financing. Everything sounds great. But how they are planning to do it, which tools they are using, I think this is important, what we need to discuss.
Yes, and one thing is, we.
Who are we?
Who are we in this?
And who are we?
Nobody asked us about this. It's another. So that's crucial. That's very important.
Let's scroll down, please. Let's scroll down. We
this.
have 12 commitments. Yeah. Here they say,
yes.
What is these 12 commitments? Key proposals.
Yes. So this is, and I've written about this in my book, Digital World Brain, and gone through all these commitments and explained what they actually mean. This is a very, very short version about it. And leave no one behind. It's like, it's about, you have to be a part of it.
That's right. And this, this sentence, leave nobody behind, it's sentence from the war. when I went to war, I know what it means, leave nobody behind. That means we will take everybody who are with us, who is wounded, will take out. But this is the language for war. That means that we are some kind of war.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's when I started doing this research about, especially because one thing is very, very important in this agenda, and that is climate change. Mm-hmm. And as I started to investigating where do climate change agenda comes from, for me it was very obvious. It looked like this is a military operation.
Okay, Jacob, let's go to this climate agenda because this is a very important part, and we will now open this open link about Climate Governance Commission. Can you please open this? And please explain us, you investigated where this climate crisis and climate agenda started, when, who started, and why?
In my book, Rockefeller Controlling the Game, I give a whole background to where this started, and it was during the 50s, and it was very, very connected to military research and Rockefeller philanthropy. Yes, the thing is, at the same time as Guterres and Klaus Schwab talked about the Great Reset, we started an initiative at a UN meeting. This was in 2020. Called the Climate Governance Commission. And this was the same time the UN had a celebration this year, UN 75. So this was a part of creating the UN we need, the UN they want. And they had a lot of organizations taking part of this. And as we can see here in the document, some very important organizations were part of it, especially the Rockefeller Foundation. So Rockefeller Foundation is one of those who are funding this Climate Governance Commission. And in this commission, we find people like Mary Robinson. She is the chair of this. Mary Robinson is the former Irish president. And we have Maria Fernanda Espinosa. She has been at the United Nations and chairman of, I think, General Assembly. And Johan Rockström. Johan Rockström is very, very important. He's from my country, Sweden. And he has developed the planetary boundaries concept. That is a huge part of this agenda. And he is advising a lot of the more important organizations handling climate change and also how to manage climate change. So Johan Rockström is a very, very powerful scientist in this. He was at Stockholm Resilience Center and is now the head of Potsdam Institute in Germany.
That means you said that they started this 75 years ago already.
Not the Global Governance Forum. It was the anniversary. The anniversary of United Nations. The 75th anniversary started it was in 2020, at the same time as the pandemic was. And they had this big meeting to have this celebration and talking about upgrading United Nations. And this is a part of this. And they highlighted certain problems that was important for the United Nations to solve, that is global in scope. One was the pandemic, and another one was, of course, climate change. So they put up this panel to work on suggestions on how to
how they
how
solve
can
the
we
problem.
solve this?
Yes.
How can we build better institutions
Okay.
for the future?
I have one
And then we
simple
also-
question. How
Yeah.
they know that we have climate emergency?
That is a part of this planetary boundaries framework. That is more or less Johan Rockström has found out in their climate models, because everything is about models.
Please repeat.
look into-
Repeat one important thing. Everything is about climate models. Why? Why is this important? Because I remember there was something in pandemic similar. We had there also some model that said that 2 million people will die in the United Kingdom from pandemic, and after that, this model was completely wrong.
Yes, I mean that is very important, because they have, real science. You study phenomena, you study the reality, and you get results from studying it. This new type of science, it's about get models of the future, and the thing is, what you put in these models gives you the result you want. Shit in, shit out, more or less. And this was kind of spearheaded by the Club of Rome in the 70s, and but the modeling was started, you can say, in the 50s, with when they built these supercomputers in the United States. We have this ANA computer.
Models, that's important thing. Whoever wants to know about models, I had interviewed with Dr. Judith Curry. She explained inside there is a 25 different models in the world, and most of them are talking and showing different results, and that's more like prophecies, but different prophecies depends who is making it. And I suggest strongly to read the book from Dr. Judith Curry. She's a really famous and well-known climatologist, and she explained everything inside. That's is very important about models. But let's continue. What they are suggesting to do?
The Climate Governance Commission.
Yeah.
Yes, they are talking about declaring a planetary emergency because of this climate chaos and climate disaster and everything. We talk about tipping points, but what we are doing as humans to the planet will create these tipping points, and this will trigger events that will severe for us, and then create a hot house Earth and all these things. Yes, here is the document where we talk about these suggestions, and they also say that what is needed is a top-down leadership and bottom-up pressure groups.
Okay, what is top-down leadership? What is top-down leadership?
Top-down, I mean, it's just do as you are told.
Okay.
Like that.
Let's make it
we
simple.
know the science.
On the top,
we set the science. Yeah.
That means on the top there will be unelected bureaucrats on the top, and us will be on the bottom.
Yes. Exactly. So we're talking here about that the governance system is ill-equipped to deal with our planetary emergency, which now encompasses the polycrisis, including, for example, international conflict, financial instability, global inequality, and pandemic risk and recovery. Almost everything. So they say that because of this, we need a new governance arrangement that is top-down.
Okay.
Let me
remind my. Sorry that I'm interrupting, but I need to say lots of things because I really had lots of discussions and shows about this topic. Let me explain that next month will be 77th General Assembly of WHO, World Health Organization. And in this new international health regulations and also new treaty, they implemented emergency situation of international concerns, what are also climate changes. That means WHO wants to run crisis, international crisis, about climate changes also.
Yes, exactly. So the WHO agenda fits into this. And especially one of the key suggestions in this, but is an emergency platform. And I think that is was a part of our common agenda, and it's also part of this policy briefs that the United Nations has published. That is the most, I would say, the most important aspect of this, because that will give United Nations powers.
Okay, let's go to this emergency platform.
Here it is. Our common agenda policy brief number 2, strengthening the international response to complex global shocks, an emergency platform. So this is big, and they warn about 7 crises or global complex shocks. So this is the complex global shocks that they are talking about. A major climatic event, future pandemic risk, of course. Pandemics and the climate is so important for this. An event involving biological agents, disruption to global flows of goods or people, cyberspace, global digital connectivity, outer event, the major event in outer space, whatever that can be. And the last one, an unforeseen black swan event.
Well, I like this last one, this unforeseen black swan event. Who wants to read it? What is black swan? There is a Nasib Taleb. He's author already, I think, 20 years ago. This book was there when he explained what means black swan. Whenever you want to make something new, you just put a name on it, interesting name, explain it, put in the book, and people will believe that this exists. And this is calling black swan event. Just my... Okay, we have now major climate event. It's already happening, of course. Future pandemic risks we are facing. They are trying to also declare pandemic of monkeypox last year. That was in May. And now just bird flu, exactly avian flu. Just 20 days ago, they declared it in United States, in New York. They said there is a new variant of avian flu. That means they can make new pandemic whenever they want.
Yes, of course. So, and also they have this, and they talk about polycrisis. But we'll have this polycrisis. I mean, it's a couple of crises run simultaneously. So it will, and you know this. I mean, if you have, you can endure one crisis, maybe 2, but 3 crises, it will just crash, like yourself if you have crisis, personal crisis.
That means this moment we have pandemic already. Last one just finished, and they are starting new one. There is an event involving biological agents. That means, again, Wuhan or somewhere else, something with gain of function will come and surprise us. Or maybe some new mRNA technology vaccines.
Yes, and also that can also be a part of warfare. someone is spreading out this, and I mean we have war, so
Yeah. And we now know
and,
that we have Russian-Ukrainian war, we have war in Gaza Strip. Now there is a big tense between Iran and Israel. That means another war can come. That means we are in the middle of this multi-crisis. Okay.
Yeah, the poly-crisis scenario.
Yeah.
So
cyberspace,
and also,
global digital connectivity disruption.
Yes. And I mean, that's they had these exercises, the cyber polygon exercises a couple of years ago, before the Ukraine war. WEF and the Russian government had this exercise in Moscow, and it was arranged by a Russian company connected to the big bank, Sberbank. But it's more or less Sberbank's boss was a part of the board of directors of the WF. So we find this connection with these people working on a very, very high scale than ordinary people can imagine. So they are have these scenarios for and this was very much about, I mean, Russian attack against the West and so on. So it's like they always have these exercises and preparations for this, and cooperate with each other.
Well, that means they already exercise it. Okay. Then we have disruption to global flows of goods or people. We have disruption of global flows of goods already during pandemic. And after that, we had a huge inflation because of reaction of monetary policies. They are printed trillions of dollars and euros, give it to people, and now we paying this with inflation. And we have flows of people. What does mean flows of people? Disruption. Is this any kind of immigrations maybe?
Yes, of course. Everything that's happening with war scenarios.
Okay. We have to go through other documents. We're just showing people that whatever we are talking, it's an official document. And I want to add here major event in outer space. Let's show this picture, please. Come put back this picture. You see, there is a spaceship. Are we gonna be invited by some Martians or people from other spaces, other dimensions? Maybe I'm joking, but here's the official document, and they're expecting somebody. Please show this major event from outer space.
There we had it.
Yes,
there is. Major event in outer space.
Major event in outer space. Okay.
Yes. So I mean, they don't talk about alien invasion, but I mean, it's like they are opening up for any kind of scenario now.
We have to be ready.
I mean, and that they are discussing these things more open now with UFOs and so on, and alien contacts and everything. So it's like they're opening up for something.
Okay. Just want to say to our audience, just remind me, there is one, they're calling this Blue Beam Project. And Blue Beam Project is something that you can see on the sky, really something what is not happening, but they have technology, then you can really be aware there. If they show you, for example, coming of some kind of interterrestrial objects, for sure you have to check it out, because it could look like, because there is a technology, blue beam technology, they're showing how it looks like in case of, well, they want to show you something in the space. Okay, let's go further. They are prepared, and for sure people who will do it are unelected bureaucrats. I don't know how
Yes.
they are planning to implement, but can you explain us how they can implement in our countries, for example, in Croatia?
Well, the thing is, if we talk about, we have these crisis scenarios, and we want to have this emergency platform, and this is an instrument. They talk about creating protocols and also have prepared groups taking care of the emergency. So beforehand, they will analyze what kind of crisis can be happening, and they will put together groups with actors. It can be member states, it can be United Nations system, it can be corporations, NGOs, and so on. Everyone will be prepared if something is happening, and if someone trigger this, something is triggering it. This group will be put together and work to do whatever it takes to solve the crisis. And it's the United Nations Secretary General that will decide together with some like Tedros at the WHO and so on. The main department or organ at United Nations that are responsible for this type of area. But when they say that we can't go against the will of the member states, but they will eventually decide. It's like, but the member states will do this on their ground. We won't take our United Nations troops into the country. It's the country that will have to do it themselves, more or less like that.
And you put you put in the book Global Coup d'etat. There will be some triggers, and some triggers can be COVID-19 pandemic, global lockdown, economic disaster, digital transformation, global governance, the Rockefeller panel report, global risk report, and blah, blah. Let's continue, whoever will read it. Just to tell you, there is triggers who are ready to do it. Let's continue how they are planning. They will have a summit in September. In September, we will see people who are planning this will come together, and they want to discuss about this. That calling is Summit of the Future, and it will take place 22nd and 23rd of September 2024. What is Summit of the Future?
It's a big United Nations meeting, a very, very important meeting that will heads of state, heads of government will gather for this meeting to prepare and sign a document that has been prepared. That's called the Pact for the Future. So they are talking about how can we safeguard the future. That's what this pact is about. So the summit will be an agreement for the future. And we have, for an example, a declaration on future generations. That's a part of it. They talk a lot about safeguarding future generations. What we do as humans now should not affect future generations in a bad way. And we can argue that that's good, of course, not destroying the environment and so on. But this will give power to certain actors to decide on. The future generations, they don't have they can't say anything because they are not born yet. So what they are talking about is having a kind of an envoy for the future generations. Someone that speaks on behalf of the future generations and says that, no, you are heading in the wrong direction. Your country can do these things because it's bad for the whole. So we have to stop this. And
Well, you said future generations. Today we were future generation for people who planned this in 70s, 60s, and 50s. That means we are now facing what they planned then. If we are not satisfied, and I believe most of people are not satisfied with this present state in the world, that means they have made bad predictions and bad planning.
You can argue about that, of course, because I mean this has been prepared for a very long time. So these ideas with future generations was already part of a Brundtland Commission in 1980s, 1987. When this was so it's a big part of sustainable development doctrine. But now we see where it's heading. And also the problem is who are about to decide upon our behalf.
Who are they?
Or
who will decide?
Yes. Well, as I have uncovered in my, especially in my Rockefeller Controlling the Game book, it's people that are connected to it's like the richest, most powerful people of the world. Their philanthropies, their think tanks, and we can. I go back to and follow the story also in the Global Coup d'etat with those who were behind the League of Nations in the beginning. And those who were preparing for the United Nations, it's the same people. It's the ultra rich people. It's those who run the banking system. It's those who run the big corporations of the world. It's those people that go to Davos every year. It's the little what David Rothkopf mentioned in his book. Superclass. It's this little global elite. The club.
Can you say few names of their groups? WEF, that's World Economic Forum. What else? Club of Rome.
Club of Rome is a very important think tank so they work for this group. But if you and we also have Carnegie Corporation, Carnegie Endowment for National Peace. The Carnegie Group was very important in this. Andrew Carnegie. These ideas about creating a more or less global management system. This comes from this rich industrialists in the early 20th century, and of course the Rockefeller Foundation, the Rockefeller interest, the Rockefeller sphere has been very, very important. And we also find all these new tech billionaires, like and we have Bill Gates, of course, and we have also Bezos. And it's like if you are someone in the global business community, when you will be invited to this project, that's how it's work.
And
we also have
it's a global elite, and they have their clubs, and for sure we ordinary people are not in it.
Yes, we are not invited. Because I mean that's it's per invitation only, and you have to have a certain amount of money in the bank. They talk about high income people. It's like I forgot the term now, but anyway. So it's a tiny little clique of people.
Okay, just let's
those climb to the ladder.
Just explain, please, what is pact for the future.
Yes. Here we can see. The aim of the summit is twofold: accelerate efforts to meet our existing international commitments and take concrete steps to respond to emerging challenges and opportunities. That is all these crises that we're talking about. And to achieve this, we'll have this document signed, the Pact for the Future. So here we see the zero draft of this pact, and this is what we talk about. We, the heads of state and government, representing the peoples of the world, have gathered at United Nations headquarters to take action to safeguard the future for present and future generations. And we talk about these big problems with all these crises. And because of this, we can't manage it ourselves. No single state can manage this alone. So we have to do it together.
Yeah, we need one government who will take care of everything, and we can put everything in one picture. It's down. This picture says Agenda 2030 17 Sustainable Goals. And this we here see 17 sustainable goals called together Agenda 2030. And can you say what is this?
Yes, this is a key part of the agenda, because this is what they have decided that they are about to achieve. And as the nations themselves can't achieve it, and it just go wrong, we have to make United Nations strong to take care of this. So, this is a utopian plan for the future. And that suggests that we are going to create this fantastic world without poverty and hunger and good health for everyone. But what they don't have told us is how we are about to achieve this, because this is very, very connected to the WEF, or World Economic Forum's fourth industrial revolution. So in order to solve these goals, they are going to more or less digitize everything, the whole world, and that's the solutions that comes out of this Pact for the Future and our common agenda. It's a fusion of these humanitarian goals with a technological agenda. And a lot of people just read they look on these graphics and it sounds good and everything, but they don't actually read, because it's a lot of sub goals for every one of these 17 SDGs, but more are more telling in what they are trying to do with this. Like the last of the goals, it's like about partnerships for the goals.
And for the last unfortunately we have to go, because there is a lot of things to discuss. I try to pass through every detail, but can you tell us, if we don't agree with this, if we don't want to comply, what we can do as ordinary people who have a sovereignty states, and we have elected representative, we had elections, what we can do to fight against it?
I think it's like we have to be aware, we have to expose it, we have to discuss it and spread it to a lot of people. Because if you don't know about it, it's impossible to stop, of course. So that's the first part of it. And also starting to, we have all these politicians that are supposed to work for us. So we have to put pressure and show that we are not agreeing about this. It's about grassroots awakening that is needed to do this, because the politicians we have, they won't do it as it is now. So they have to feel the pressure, and they also have to be held accountable for what they are doing for the future. Because now we can see what we are planning to do. We have all the documentation, and we have. It's like after the Second World War. They think they were secure when we were cooperating with the Nazi regime and doing all this bad stuff and so on. But it comes a day when they have to pay for what they are doing. So it's important to show that we know about this, and it's not acceptable.
Jacob, when your book will be published?
Yeah. When the book, the Global Coup, it will be out in August. Hopefully. Okay. It always takes time with working with publishing houses, but I hope it will be out before this Summit of the Future. And I will also try to publish the Digital World Brain for this summit as an e-book, so that the information will reach enough people.
I will put a link to your page where anybody can find you and ask you about this for the future. Thank you, Jacob, for your work, research. You've done job for others. Others only need to read, check out if they want, and do as they decided. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to discuss with you.
Thank you very much. Great talking to you.
Evo, dragi narode, dakle, knjiga će izaći, ja sam je već pročitao, imao sam tu čast u PDF formatu. Sad se sjetimo nečega. Naime, proteklih godinu dana prije izbora naš premijer je ponavljao da su najvažniji ciljevi digitalizacija, borba protiv klimatskih promjena i demografska obnova. To je ponavljao kao papagaj i čak smo dobili, ako se ne varam, 9 milijardi eura za tu svrhu. Pokušajte se sjetiti da li je tijekom kampanje izborne, koja je taman prošla, ikada spomenuo klimatske promjene, da li ikada spomenuo digitalizaciju, jest demografsku obnovu, ali nije objasnio kakvu, i pandemiju. Dakle, 3 godine pandemije smo imali u proteklom mandatu od 4 i niko o tome ne razgovara. Kako ja smatram našeg bivšeg, a možda i budućeg premijera inteligentnom osobom, on je znao da najbolje što može napraviti jeste da o tome ne priča. Jer kada priča o tome, onda mora imati i argumente i objašnjenja kako nije to ovako kao što se vidi iz ovih dokumenata i ono što je gospodin Nordangard objasnio, a argumenti mu baš i ne idu u prilog, jer na jednostavno pitanje zašto netko planira da upravlja s nama u budućim izvanrednim situacijama ako imamo demokratske procese kojima određujemo ko će nas predstavljati, odgovor na to ne može nitko dati. Može dati samo mi nemamo vlastiti suverenitet, neko drugi odlučuje za nas. A čemu onda izbori? Čemu onda ovo što se sad trenutno događa i pregovori oko buduće vlade koja u stvari neće vladati? Dakle, uvijek obratite pozornost na stvari o kojima se ne govori, jer se o tim stvarima ne smije govoriti. Moje duboko uvjerenje jeste da naša vlada buduća će morati izvršavati planove koje ste upravo sad vidjeli od strane Svjetske zdravstvene organizacije ili Ujedinjenih naroda, a iza tih, kao što vidite, stoje puno utjecajniji i moćni ljudi koji, kao što znate, nisu bili na nijednim našim izborima, niti su imali svoje službene predstavnike, bar one da znamo da njih predstavljaju. Imali su one koji se predstavljaju da su naši predstavnici, a znamo da vode globalističke politike, upravo ove o kojima smo danas razgovarali. Ja sam posvetio puno vremena istražujući to i danas sam pokušao vam dovesti te dokumente da sami pročitate. Dakle, neki će reći da su možda teorije zavjere, ali ako su teorije zavjere, zašto netko provodi toliko vremena pisajući dokumente i objavljujući na službenim stranicama? Da li samo zato da bi zavarao teoretičare zavjere, da bi ih napravio smiješnim kad oni to prezentiraju javnosti i kažu pogledajte, sami pišu da će to napraviti. Stoga vam toplo preporučam kada dođe knjiga, pročitajte, a u međuvremenu ove dokumente koje sam prezentirao i sve moje dosadašnje epizode, posebno onu koja govori o agendi 2030, dakle 17 tih Sustainable Development Goals, posebno tome jer na tim primjerima vidim kako će se odvijati upravo ovo o čemu smo danas govorili. Dakle, ja se nadam da neće, ali ja vidim tako. Imamo digitalni novčanik kome se svi raduju, uvode digitalni novac, Central Bank Digital Currency, jako je važno napomenuti, mi već imamo digitalni novac, ali nemamo centralizirani, da se s njim može upravljati iz jednog centra. Zatim imamo već do sada COVID potvrde koje su bile i pretvorene su u novi zeleni pasport koji je prihvatilo Svjetska zdravstvena organizacija za buduće pandemije. Prema tome, čim se pojavi nova pandemija, primijenit će tu diskriminatorni dokument koji će biti u digitalnom obliku, koji će vam, sjetite se 2021. godine kada niste mogli ići na posao bez tog dokumenta. I to je sve u implementaciji sada. Dok mi pričamo, u gradu Zagrebu se instaliraju 1000 kamera, kao i u drugim gradovima. Čujem i po Dalmaciji i po Slavoniji. Postavljam pitanje, čemu toliko kamera? Zar smo mi zemlja koja je toliko opasna, da imamo toliko kriminala, da moramo snimiti svaki dio zemlje? Ne, nismo. Svi znamo da nismo, da smo vrlo sigurna zemlja. Pa čemu onda tolike kamere? Zašto nas moraju snimati na svakom kutu? Zašto nam moraju prepoznavati te kamere lice? Mogu nam prepoznati lice i sa leđa, po hodu. Čemu ta tehnologija ako smo mi zemlja? Sad ću vam reći čemu. Zato što grad Zagreb također u borbi protiv klimatskih promjena pokušava uvesti 15-minutni grad. I upravo ga je uveo prije nekoliko dana, zove se Jarun. Više na Jarun ne možete automobilom. To niko ne spominje, svi misle to je zaštita prirode, međutim niko ne postavlja pitanje, a čemu to? I svi ti dokumenti o kojima govorim su na službenim stranicama i grada Zagreba. Prezentirao sam ih u jednoj od mojih emisija. Stoga, sami razmislite, postavite si ova pitanja koja postavljam ja, tražite odgovore od one koji ste birali na prošlim izborima, jer ono kako ja shvaćam demokraciju, mi smo izabrali ljude koji će nas predstavljati naše interese, a ne koji će predstavljati interese globalnih institucija. Hvala lijepa na pažnji i uskoro se vidimo u sljedećoj epizodi Slobodni.
Nitko vas neće natjerati da se poklonite zvijeri, učinit ćete to svoje voljno, odbacujući vjeru. Bićete laka meta za zvijeri, jer se niste podredili vjeri. Ako se ne podredite vjeri, podredit ćete se zvijeri. Toliko ćete se suobličiti sa ovim svijetom, da nećete ni prepoznati da ste u zabludi. Biće to najveća demonska prevara ikada i pravedno zaslužena osuda nad nepokajanim grešnicima.
Gdje su svi?